Okay, hello. I'm Eli. This is for a school project, so please no negative comments. I have to create a YouTube video that does all of this stuff here. So let's get started. First off, the start menu is this rectangular screen here. You can get basically to any program you have. Here you have your most commonly used programs, and then you can go out to them. Then alternately, you can search for a specific program, and then you have just the basic computer like file going through your directories here. Um, there are many Windows versions, and in each Windows version, it looks different. Like for example, Windows 7 is the first Windows version to have the start orb, start of a start button that says start. Instead, you have now just a circle with the Windows symbol on it, and then start comes up. Okay, system requirements. All system requirements are basically the minimum or recommended required hardware that you have in your computer to run a program. I have already pulled up Skyrim system requirements, and as you can see, it's Windows 7, Vista, or XP. At least a quad-core processor, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 6 gigabytes of for hard drive space, and some other things. And then also, I have my systems. So first one, Windows 7, obviously I already have. Processor, quad-core. That's right here, AMD quad-core processor. 4 gigabytes of RAM. I actually have 8 gigabytes of RAM. Um, and 6 gigabytes free hard drive space. I have a 2 terabyte hard drive, so I don't really think that's a problem. Next up is what? The taskbar, which is basically this entire blue bar in this case down here. And again, in different Windows versions, it's a different color. Here you can see all the programs that you have running right at the moment, and then you can pin some to here with Windows 7 so that like you can just go to the taskbar and click them. Also, you have the time and the date and like your network settings, and you can hide some icons so you can bring them down there. And that's the taskbar. Next up is the command prompt. The command prompt is just this, and you're able to type in commands and that do stuff in here that affect the computer. And it's nice because it's really fast, but it's not distracting at all, and you can get around things easier. There aren't hidden things. You can see everything, and if you can't, you can use switches to see everything. And it's really nice, but the problem is you just have to memorize all the commands, which can be difficult. Next up, icons. When you have things, shortcuts on your desktop, or even in the home folders, they get icons for different games. Will have different icons. Folders if you have just a folder on your desktop, it'll have that icon, and everything has an icon. Next is the recycle bin, which is pretty common. It just shows everything you've deleted, like just and sent to the recycle bin. Then, so like, if I was to delete this, if I delete it, yes, and then it appears in the recycle bin. And so that's really nice if someone deletes something and you need it back, Diddy, then you can come here and get it sometimes. But other times it just doesn't work, which is unfortunate. But at least it works for sometimes. Next, the control panel. Control panel is basically you're able to set up everything that your computer needs. You can set up the date, which mine is wrong. It's actually oh, yeah, something else about the taskbar for Windows 7. You can show the desktop, which is pretty neat. Mine is back to the time. Mine is 3 hours off. It's actually 6 o'clock. But, right, you can set the date. You can set your hardware. You can set up your network stuff, security stuff, whatever. It's all coming from here. And if you want to get to something, like say you want to turn that little shield thing off, the user access control, type in UAC, change UAC settings, and then you're there to set it. I like it there just because I like it a little bit, but not here. I don't like, but just personal preference. And that's the control panel. Task Manager, I got rid of and got Process Explorer, It basically shows you what tasks are running and what are not, like, just and how much how much of your like processor and RAM they're taking up. Like, see here that you can see how much, and then where it goes. You can also see little graphs up here for processors and other physical memory and other things. And it shows like everything that's running right then, and other things. So that's basically what the Task Manager does, but Process Explorer just does it better. So you should go online and download that. Next, the Event Viewer. If your computer stops working for some reason, it'll come up here. You have applications, which will show you errors and like what happens just with individual programs. You have system, which will show you what happens just with Windows, not with Steam or other programs that you have running on Windows. So yeah, and this is where you go if you have a virus and something doesn't work. You go right here because you can see the error. You can see what specifically what happened. Like, click on this error. You can see exactly the error. You can see the error code, and you can Google that and find out how to fix it. Okay. Next. Windows services. Windows has many services. One that I'm about to try to use as soon as I get around to it, because I'm lazy, is I'm gonna just try out the voice control. Like, so I just say open start menu, and it might open the start menu or something. I'm just gonna try that out and see what happens. But they offer some other things. They have too also. Also performance monitor. This you can set up to like check to record your performance for like a week, and then you can know if your computer is not running as fast as it's supposed to be, if like where it's not running well, if it's with the RAM, if it's with the processor, if it's with actually the memory from the hard drive getting to the RAM. If things like that, you can tell what's wrong with your computer, and this helps. You should run a test for just the generic one as soon as you get your computer. So I should be running this soon. And that's the performance monitor. And yep. Oh yes, the registry and the registry. You get to the registry by going to regedit. Yes. And this basically shows what all the programs are, like what programs are running, what you have, what they're allowed to do, like what they do. So like what permissions is granted to like everything here, like software. And you can see everything, like what it's supposed, like things that are set just into the computer to do. Is here, not that you have to do something. Things that happen autonomously inside your computer. And that is my second video for PC hardware and software. Thank you.